and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today I'm going to be doing a collective reading, but if you're new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, check out my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. All right, let's find out what the circle needs to know today. Okay, so this is a big energy, and I think it's really important because, especially for those of you who keep finding yourself in situations where you are dating the wrong partners or getting romantically involved with the wrong partners, or you're struggling with aspects of people who come in and they disappoint you in some way, they hurt you, they're not committed, they lie, they manipulate, they cheat, or they just come in very strong and then it sort of fizzles out. And so for those of you who struggle with this, this is a huge indication of where your problem's coming from. And this Leo full moon is really asking you to take a look at these deep-seated issues. And so what I'm seeing here is that you had the ability to gain justice in some sort of situation regarding a person from your past who disappointed you or broke your heart or was not committed or whatever. And this was a hard decision to make because you went back and forth with whether or not the energies were reciprocal. You went back and forth because you've grown and you've realized that certain ways you've handled situations in the past have not worked. And you've realized that you've grown and you've been able to see the trees for the woods. And you've been more in touch with your intuition here. And you've been more in line with your higher self and your inner voice. And so I'm seeing that you were able to make some sort of decision that could have potentially brought justice in on this situation. But I have a sneaking suspicion here that you were disappointed with that situation. So even though you may have gained some sort of justice, or you may have realized that, you may have gained some sort of truth about the situation. And, I always talk about people coming in with apologies. So as an example, maybe somebody from your past came in to apologize, but you knew the apology wasn't real. And then you got confirmation of that. And then you're disappointed about it. I'm going to tell you why, because I'm pretty sure that's where this is going here. So let's get a couple more cards. The Devil, the Magician, Page of Wands, Three of Cups, and Death. All right, so my sneaking suspicions were correct here. We have the Devil on the table. So you may have broken certain patterns with this person, or you may have learned something from the situation and you've grown from it. But you made this decision, you got some sort of justice or some sort of truth or some sort of answer, and you didn't feel the way that you expected to feel. You may have thought you were going to be like content, or like, I figured you out, or you were caught red-handed and I was right, or like you were going to feel some sort of like relief because your intuition was correct, and none of those things happened. Instead, you may have been angry or frustrated or disappointed, or feeling like somehow things didn't move, even though you learned the lesson. You may be focusing on the fact that, well, this person didn't learn the lesson. And this person is still stuck in their traumas, or still stuck in their negative cycles, or they haven't changed. And you're finding that you're mad about it. And what I'm seeing here is that because you're a master manifester, you may be the person who goes and you write in your journal and you're like, man, this person really hasn't changed. I was right, blah, blah, blah. But it's still bothering you. There's something about this that's still bothering you, and you're trying to reflect on it, but you're not quite sure what it is. I'm going to tell you what it is. There's an ending here that needs to happen. And you're probably saying, oh, Blake, well, I don't want this person back. You know, they were a bad situation, bad in my life. I don't want them back. That's not what I'm talking about, sweetheart. You are struggling with still allowing other people to determine your self-worth. And that needs to end. And you're probably going, well, I don't understand because I made the right decision and they didn't grow from it. Why do you care whether or not they grew from it? Why is it that in this situation, you're so focused on the other person? Why are you still sitting there in your journal and writing, well, they didn't change, I was right, blah, 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 instead of saying, why am I mad about this situation? And why am I over here writing in my journal about the other person? This is about me. So this reading is a friendly reminder that this journey is about you. And this Leo full moon is going to be triggering you so that these things come up and you can recognize where in certain situations you're still presenting your self-worth in a way that other people have control over what your self-worth is. So I'm going to get a couple more cards here. So since the Magician's on the table, actually, I did just get another message. So within, so without. So that is what the Magician is about. So whatever you feel within is what you're going to start manifesting in your outer world. So that being said, if you're determining your self-worth based off of other people and your validation off of other people when it comes to your self-worth, you will continually invite this energy back into your life, this uncommitted energy. And it's because you haven't committed to yourself. One, we have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Three of Pentacles. This is interesting. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I bet you're going to have a harder time answering it than you think you do. How do you measure your self-worth? What is it measured by? And oftentimes we know, okay, well, we're supposed to measure our own self-worth, not allow other people to measure it. That's what all the books say. That's what all the gurus say. And that's correct. But how do you measure that? Well, if you've been going through all your spiritual practices and you've been learning to manifest in the way that I think you have, you know that the answer is not by your success, by how much money you have, by those types of things. That's not how you measure your self-worth and not an accurate depiction of your self-worth. So let me ask you, how do you measure your self-worth? Seriously, I want you to think about it. I want you to write in your journal, how do I measure my self-worth? How do you measure worth in general? It can't just be by money, because here's the thing. How many things do you value that have nothing to do with money? How many things do you consider worthy that have nothing to do with money? Like honesty, open communication, respect. Those things have nothing to do with money. So here's the thing. I want you to work on this week. I want you to work on your self-worth. And you need to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to learn these things as they come. You have to take it one step at a time. So we have the snail here down at the bottom of this card. And I don't know if you can see the snail. Hopefully this is in focus. But there's a snail at the bottom of this card. And this card in particular is all about embracing your individuality, your authenticity, standing in your power, and embracing your independence. And so when it comes to working on your self-worth, especially when it comes to partners, first I want you to realize that The value that you put on things has to do with your priority to them. I'm going to say that one more time. The value that you put on things and people comes down to what you prioritize. So if you prioritize happiness and you prioritize open communication, respect, honesty, let me ask you something. Are you doing that for yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you having open communication with yourself? Are you drawing healthy boundaries that are allowing you to grow and to be healthy in your mind, spirit, and body? Are you respecting yourself and building that relationship with yourself that you give to everybody else? Because if you're not, then you are still struggling with your self-worth. You may be over here going, oh, I love myself. I'm doing these things for myself. That's great. But are you doing it when it comes to all aspects of your life? Specifically when it comes to relationships with other people. And so you need to build that relationship with yourself. What you're giving to everybody else, you need to give to yourself. Okay? And that is why self-care and self-love is never selfish, because in order for you to be in a flow state and in order for there to be love there, true unconditional love, there has to be reciprocity and there has to be balance. So that being said, when you are giving that love to yourself and you're being your own best friend, your own parent, your own lover, your own safe space, you're creating that respect, that value. You're prioritizing those things. You're making yourself a priority in your life. You are valuing yourself, your happiness. And at the end of the day, that's ultimately what your goal is, right? You want to be happy. Part of that is learning to be happy with self. And so if this situation is coming up and it's bringing up triggers, it's because there's some area that you're over giving to this person still. There's some area where you are giving them the power to trigger you, either by controlling your emotions, by determining your self-worth, or in some area of your life. And so this is a really important lesson, because your self-worth plays into everything else in your manifestation. Because the rule of the universe is, as within, so without. You are the master manifester. Manifesting doesn't turn on and off. You are constantly manifesting. So if you are constantly in the state of not respecting yourself, not giving yourself your own time, not communicating with your own self, not being your own safe space for yourself, not being the person that you need for yourself, you will always manifest that outside of yourself. And that is the main reason why people continuously end up in the wrong relationships with the wrong people. It has nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with you. Because at the end of the day, everything that you manifest, your entire life, is about you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about what anybody else said or what anybody else thought. It's about you. And so I really want you to make yourself a priority this week. Even if that means only giving yourself an hour, because that's all you have. Start figuring out ways that you can incorporate building this relationship with yourself every single day. Show up for yourself. Prove to yourself that you're going to be there for you. And if you have not done that in the past, forgive yourself and say, I will never leave you again. I will never abandon you again. Because ultimately that's where really all of our problems come from, if we're being honest with ourselves. They all come from within. But oftentimes it comes from a lacking relationship to self. So this week, I want you to really take an hour at least to sit down and prioritize yourself. Start thinking about habits that you can incorporate into your daily life to respect and honor you. To take care of yourself, to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, to prioritize the things in your life. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we get so focused on trying to get all of our goals in order, trying to achieve everything, right? But even if you achieve everything that you want, if you're still not having a good, open, honest relationship with yourself, you're still going to be unhappy. Notice this is still the 9, it's not the 10. So this is the final key, and this is why these things are being brought up. When these triggers are being brought up, it's because you're meant to look at you. Not the other person, you. Why are you upset about this situation? Why do you care that the other person did A, B, or C? Why do you care about whatever? It's about you. This journey is about you. It's not about anybody else. And honestly, this is one of the reasons I started this channel, because I see too often people going to tarot to get answers about the other person. You can get answers all you want about the other person, but until you get the answers that you're seeking from you, you will always, always keep attracting this energy. We don't want this energy. You saw that? I just tossed it out. We don't want it. Goodbye. You want honest, open relationships. You want somebody to love you unconditionally for who you are. You want them to be there for you no matter what. How are you doing that for yourself? I want you to set an intention to be the person that you need for yourself first. Then go off and, try to find that person or let that person come to you and, put yourself out there so that they can be attracted. But until you become the person you need for you, that you're looking for in other people, you will never find that person because you're going at it the wrong way. So I just feel like I put you through like a mental boot camp here. Hopefully that wasn't too harsh for you all, but honestly, I think this is such an important lesson. And I think you can tell I'm passionate about it because I think people struggle with this all the time. And I see it too often when people come to me with readings, asking about the other person and, oh, why don't they love me? Or why are they treating me this way? Or whatever. Well, who gives a crap about that? How are you doing that to yourself? Are you not honoring yourself by putting up with this other person's BS? Is that really what you deserve? Is that really what you consider to be your happiness? Is that really what you're going to settle for at the end of the day? No. So for those of you who don't have that person in your life to be your best friend, I'm there for you as that person today. You deserve better. You deserve all your happiness. Ultimately, your worth comes down to how much you think you deserve your happiness. And that comes down to how much you prioritize yourself and the things that are important to you. So you got this. I'm going to give you the affirmation of I am prioritizing myself this week as your affirmation today and for this week. And your other affirmation is I am creating healthy habits to take care of myself and build my relationship with myself. I am working on my self-worth. Those are your affirmations for this reading. So if this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like and comment down below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.